Hello, my name is Bradley and I'm your host of The Internal Game. So like back in December when the channel had started to grow, I made a video about like taking your self-concept or your life to how now that level, right? So I kind of wanted to talk about that today. So there's a movie called The Wedding Crashers. Me and my friends there would always go back and forth about uh, quoting this movie. And one of the quotes in there is he's like, "No excuses, play like a champion." No excuses, play like a champion. Okay. So when we're playing the internal game, right, we want to be conscious that we are playing an internal game, literally. And how we're perceiving things, the meaning that we're giving to things, what we're buying into matters. And it's going to play out this way, right? Now, granted, we don't have to buy into every thought. That's why I say things like just a thought, right? So you can just dismiss things like by realizing that it's not positive or negative. It's just a thought. No need to buy into it, right? Especially coming from an identity you're trying to get out of, right? But nonetheless, this is all an internal game, and you want to start taking accountability because accountability is huge, right? Playing the internal game, like no excuses, play like a champion. Take accountability for everything that you see. Fuck it. Like if something's already there, fuck it, dude. Like it's already there. Like there's no need to resist it. There's no need to I'm not trying to sound like a dickhead, but there's no need to cry about it. It is what it is. It's played out, right? Now let it go. Right? No excuses. Play like a champion. Accountability and being a conscious creator and knowing that everything's coming from you is like rule number fucking one of playing the internal game. It's like, listen, you're not a victim. Okay? These things were all created by you. All of it. So what are you a victim to? The only thing that you maybe did wrong, even though there's nothing wrong, like, is that you thought yourself to be something that you weren't, and because of that, you perceived everything according, like, from this kind of shitty self-concept, how you identified yourself, and then some shit played out that you didn't like. That's it. But what we're not going to do is blame. We're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. We're not going to think that the world's just got us and just smacking us all the time, and that people are just mean and oh, like poor me. We're not going to do this, and I mean this with love, because trust me, like when you actually step into this place of like being accountable, saying, okay, you know what, I see it, I created it, so what? Now I'm not doing it anymore, and you're like, and you're going to feel empowered, because like there's nothing to be scared of. Like I was talking to someone on a session earlier. I do it all the time actually, but like that was just the most recent one, and it was it's always your thoughts about these things that are messing with you, right? How you're perceiving something to be. If you're like oh, it feels like doom because this happened and this is happening and oh man, like it's just getting me. Like no, that it's your thoughts about it, right? A lot of times what's actually happening is you're just sitting there on the couch like stirring, suffering in imagination. This is what we want to stop doing. Like when you're saying that you love yourself, right? Maybe that's one of your affirmations that you found on these channels. I don't know, but like if you're saying that you love yourself, prove it. Someone who loves himself would not torture themselves with thoughts. And the only reason that you're doing it is because you think that you have to think about these thoughts. You think that you have to identify with them. You think, oh my gosh, if I don't think about that, then I'm just going to get caught off guard. Or like, but what if this happens? And then you're going to get yourself into a really, really chaotic state of being and then try to manipulate the outside. And you forget all about the internal game. Even though that's what you're playing anyway. Right? So you want to be conscious of this and say, okay, I don't have to buy into these thoughts. That's just a thought. That's going to bring you much stability. Then you want to start calling some shots on how you want things to go. And if you happen to see the opposite, who gives a fuck? Again, it is your thoughts about it that's making you suffer. And in all honesty, you've been suffering before things even played out there in the first place. And the idea is to not walk around here being scared of seeing something or being scared of things, or like pretty much scared of a meaning that you assign to something and scared of a story that you had, like your story about it instead of the actual thing itself. And I'm not saying things aren't unfavorable. I'm not saying it's ideal if you see something you don't want. I'm just saying you don't have to suffer. You don't have to create any more suffering for yourself, continuing to buy into a shit meaning, shit narrative about said experience, right? You cannot be a victim. You can't. You can't be called, like if you're trying to get your person, If something happens, you can't be calling up your friends, gossiping about it. You can't be calling up mom and dad and whoever else will listen to you that's going to affirm your story and tell you just how shitty this person is. Right? You have to step away from that. Like when me and my wife split up, I didn't talk about it at all. I know that she had reached out to my stepmom or vice versa, one of the two, and they asked about what's going on, but I didn't partake in it. I was like, oh yeah, it is what it is. I'll talk about it later. I don't want to talk about it right now. Because everyone has their people in their life they know is going to co-sign their victimhood, co-sign their bullshit, and it's just you're gonna get lost in the story even more so than you already are. So don't do that. Give yourself a chance, right? I know it seems like I'm coming at you guys a little hard, but like, dude, you can't be victims playing this game. You can, but it's not what you think you want isn't going to happen. And I also want to point out this little simple fact that I learned from The Power of Now, the book. And he said, some people don't want to give up their pain. Think about this. Some people don't want to give up their pain. They think they do, but they don't want to give it up because the pain is so intertwined with how they see themselves, their identity. So the pain is actually part of the identity, the abandoned one, that always gets hurt, what have you. But nonetheless, like the pain is part of the identity. So of course you're viewing things this way, and that's why when you have a relationship and it's good at first because you're confident and you're not attached, and then the attachment sets in and you start viewing them through this identity. Are they gonna leave? Or do they like somebody more? And you start assigning all this stuff to them on what they're doing and thinking that it means these things, and then eventually it gets pushed out. But the pain is part of the identity. So you want to say like, okay, listen, I actually don't want to cause any more pain for myself. And I can do that by not buying into a bunch of thought coming from this pain identity. And I can actually choose to be peaceful and walk in a knowing instead of like always identifying with this pain, because I actually do, not just talking, you can say I actually do want to take my life to a how nada level. I don't want to be victim anymore. And really get the idea that every time that you're complaining, every time that you're now I'm not saying you can't feel emotions, you can, you're human, but you're not going to identify with them. You are not sad. You may feel sad, but you are not sad. You may have a thought that a person did something, but you are not this thought. Okay? So you can see them come, see them go. The same thing with emotions. Like feel it, whatever, don't resist it, let it be. Like don't try to force your way out of it and let it go. But you are not going to identify with pain anymore. You're going to see it come, see it go. And then once you're walking around in this more of a stabilized state of being, you can actually start calling some shots on how you want things to go. And I know I get comments like, what does choosing yourself look like? And every time that I get this, I want to point out this. Every time I talk about this, I want to point out, if you have to ask what choosing yourself looks like, this is exactly why you're in this position in the first place. I know, I get it. I've been there more times than I want to admit. But nonetheless, here, choose yourself. Focus on you. What does this mean, Bradley? What are your priorities? Is it you? Are you your priority? Now, I'm not saying everyone's got to fall by the wayside, but I'm saying you can't fall by the wayside trying to get everybody else and keep everybody else happy and to make sure no one leaves you and all this other good stuff. If you're obsessed over manifesting a person, their priority, and that's why you're getting the reflection. You want to bring it back to you. You be the priority in your life. Okay? Focus on yourself. Do things you like to do. Learn something that you want to learn. Anything that you can do, like for yourself, hang out with friends, anything you can do besides trying to manifest somebody for 24 hours a day. I promise once you step into more of a being it role, instead of trying to manifest it role, like actually being a priority instead of affirming your priority, you're going to see a different reflection. And you're also going to like really not put up with shit that you used to put up with. Why would you? Like, so if you're saying these things, now granted it's still your, okay, hold on, it's still your creation. When I say you wouldn't put up with that stuff, it's still your creation. But like, what better way to prove to yourself that you are a fucking priority by not putting up with shit that you used to put up with? Real simple, right? Yeah, you created it, but like, no more. And so, anyway, if you're saying you're important, if you're saying you're a priority, if you're saying that you are loved, then prove it. That's all you gotta do. You gotta prove it to yourself. Prove to you that you're a priority. Prove to you that you are important by making yourself important. And if you're already in a relationship, that's great. I just saw this question earlier. How do you, make yourself a priority when you're in a relationship? Just by not trying to do things and changing self so the person likes you. Just by not like making them your happiness. You can only do this when you realize that like they can't do this. They can't make you happy. And because you've assigned them this role of making you happy when you got attached to them, like then now what they do is making you unhappy, but really the unhappiness is already in you. So like focus on you. Love them for sure. But you're only gonna love them about as deep as you are actually in tune with self. So anyway, yeah, still focus on you. Like have your own life. Let them have their own life. Like of course you want to have your assumptions that they're loyal, committed, compassionate, understanding, things like that. But outside of that, like people shouldn't be like what people are doing most of the time shouldn't be affecting you. Like I tell people all the time, if I'm trying to micromanage my assumptions about like how someone does the dishes or how someone does this or like all these little stuff, then I'm not as safe and secure as I think that I am. And by the way, if you do react to anything in this journey of priority and not and being a priority and taking your life concept whatever to a whole another level, it's okay, because what you're not going to do is you're not going to beat yourself up. You're not going to stay there long. I saw Tony Robbins interview one time where he said he's like, I'm human. He's like, I get upset sometimes too. I just don't stay there long. I'm like, that's great. You're gonna be human. Don't think that just because you miss somebody that's not living in the end. My wife's in Oklahoma right now. You don't think I miss her sometimes? Yeah. Does that mean she's getting sucked out of my awareness the second that I miss her? No. I know that's my woman. If you're upset, if you get upset, like it's okay. Just don't stay there long. Tell yourself, okay, listen, I got a minute to vent or whatever the case may be, and then get back on your stuff if that's what you need to do. But nonetheless, you're not going to ignore, fight your feelings, be upset with self because you fucking reacted. Oh my God, I lost it all now. No, that's just more story. That's just a thought. None of that stuff's true. You want to be there for yourself. You want to be compassionate with yourself. You want to, like, especially while you're making the change, like, hey, you've been identified with victimhood for a long time. Like it can be challenging. Now, is the smoothest way to observe the thoughts coming from the identity, and not buy into them and start to shift, of course. But nonetheless, like there can be a little challenge. It can be challenging sometimes. Sometimes you do react. Sometimes you feel emotions. It's okay. You let them come. You let them go. You do not beat yourself up, and you do not identify with the circumstance or the emotion. That's it. You want to start being your, like, I know it sounds corny, but your own best friend, dude. Like you want to be there for yourself. Yeah, and you like then you want to, after you're stable, you want to assume some cool stuff for yourself. That's what you want. The person, the money, the how you want to be, like, just how you want to be. Nonetheless, you just tell the story of it, and you stick to it, and you take your concept to a how another level. But you really do this stuff by just being what it is that you say that you want to experience. Like what you really want is, in my opinion, what you really want is to be safe, secure, have a loving, harmonious relationship. Be able to have goals, them have the same, or what have you, and that's what you really want. But because you're feeling that lack and that incompleteness, and you think this person can make you happy, all you want is them right now. And like and you have all this focus on it. But really, like, if you could just bring that back for a second and actually be the priority instead of trying to get them to make you a priority. If you make you a priority, you allow them to treat you like that. When you respect yourself, you're going to pretty much command that from everyone else. But it all starts with you. It started with you, and it's gonna end this way. But you want to, yeah, mainly not be victim. You want to take accountability. There's nothing good about being victim. Like it just adds to that story of and you're gonna see the world through, like, in person through this kind of lens. You want to really disidentify with that, but you have to ask yourself, am I willing to give up the pain? Like, because honestly, who are you without your story, right? That's what we think. That's why it's so hard to go from identity to identity, or even shed one and get more present. Either way, like it can be difficult because like Tony Robbins said, I'm up twice, but Tony Robbins said, he was like, the strongest force in the human psyche is the mind's need to stay consistent with how it sees itself. Again, how it sees itself. It's not true. So like, if you see yourself with a lot of pain and you've made identities around this pain, who are you without it? You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times we want peace, but we're looking for problems. It affirms more what we believe to be true actually about self in the world. So once you're aware of this, you can say, okay, listen, this is just a story. This is just an identity that I'm in. This is not really who I am. And you can say that's just a thought, or I can see that and you don't have to identify with that anymore. And then create that space like I'll always talk about. And then whatever you want to believe about yourself, you can do that. You start to tell a new story and take your life to another level, because the truth is you are amazing. The truth is you are already perfect. And sometimes the only way that you can see that you're perfect is if you just give up all the reasons why you're not. It's not about forcing perfection. Like, oh, I'm this. I gotta be this I gotta have this and do this to be perfect. It'll never be enough. You just need to give up the reasons why you're not perfect, because there really are no reasons why you're not already perfect. You can find them, but they're not true. So, and you don't want to be living like that. Especially when how you see the world is based upon how you see yourself. So, anyways, take it to a whole another level. Oh yeah, real fast. No excuses, dude. I don't care what anyone. That's what I was talking about. No excuses. No matter what anyone's doing, no matter what's going on out there, no excuses. Play the internal game. Don't buy into fucking thought that is shit. You do not have to. Take a couple days and prove that to yourself. Prove that to yourself that like I don't have to buy into thought. You do that. You do not buy into thought. You want to find your stability. You say, oh wow, that's amazing. I never had to buy into that. No wonder that shit was happening, because I was thinking all these fucking shitty thoughts. No wonder. I wasn't doing what I thought I was doing internally. I thought I was affirming for a few minutes, and the law just didn't work for me. No, you were actually entertaining a bunch of stuff you just weren't aware of, because you're so used to doing it, because you're identify with it. It's normal. So when you stop identifying with it, take a couple days and just do that. Watch what happens. No excuses. Play like a champion. The world is yours, like Scarface. Your world is yours. No excuses. You can't blame anybody for why you're not where you're at. You can't blame anybody for the way you feel. You can't blame anybody for anything. Take responsibility, take accountability for your state of being. It's yours. Act like it. I love you guys. Okay? No excuses. Play like a champion, because you are a champion. You are a fucking champion. You're a winner. You are God. You are everything. You are way more remarkable than the mind can conceive of. So don't let a mind tell you that you're not that remarkable. Okay? So, anyways, love you guys. See you soon.